Chapter 31 1 Sword Seconds. You are listening at novelfull.audio. Boom! Niu Wufang fell from the sky with blood on his head and landed in the Luo family's ancestral house. Seeing this, everyone in the Luo family changed their faces. This, that, how did you get hurt so badly? The great elder looked at Niu Wufang and didn't know what to call him for a while. You must know that this is the demon king of Tiandang Mountain, the divine beast of Tongxian realm. If it were in the past, it would be an existence that they could not touch at all, but now, this guy claims to be Luo Feng's grandson. This name is embarrassing. Well, the enemy is too strong. I got hurt, Grandpa. I shed blood for our Luo family. You have to make it clear to my uncle later. Niu Wufang said, covering the wound on his head. Luo Feng immediately said seriously, don't worry, I will let Tianer know about this. That's good, find me a room, I'm going to recuperate. Niu Wufang's words were not fake. With that stick just now, he hit too hard and was seriously injured. Hurry up, tidy up a good yard. Luo Feng personally commanded, vacated a house for Niu Wufang, and handed it over to him to live in. After all this was over, the elders looked at each other in blank dismay. Patriarch, what do you think we should do next? The great elder asked first. After Luo Feng pondered for a moment, he said, I don't know either. Let's wait for Tianer to come back and listen to his opinion on this matter. However, with this demon king of the Tongxian realm in charge, at least our Luo family will never be in charge. It will be safe to start now. After hearing this, everyone nodded their heads. You know, in Bianbei City, you can't even find a single person from the Royal Sky realm. Now their family lives in a Tongxian realm, not to mention Bianbei City. Looking at the entire Night Breeze nation, it was comparable to a second-rate force. At this moment. Report, Patriarch. The family shop is asking for help. The Li family is robbing our Luo family's property. A servant of the Luo family came to report. What? The Li family? Courting death. Luo Feng understood instantly. Apparently, the Li family knew that someone from the Sky Defense realm had invaded the Luo family, and thought that the Luo family was completely finished, so they dared to snatch it, but unfortunately, he didn't know that Niu Wufang existed. Everyone, come with me. It's troublesome now, let's frighten Xiao Xiao. Luo Feng said. On the other side, in front of Luo's shop, boom. A man from the Luo family was slammed against the wall with a palm, blood spurting wildly. Opposite him was the head of the Li family, Li Qingxi. I'll give you one last chance to hand over the key to the warehouse and spare you. Li Qingxi said, looking down at the man. Li Qingxi, you are looking for death. Our patriarch will not let you go. The Luo family was stubborn. He was covered in blood and never flinched. The Luo family? Ha, you idiot, don't you know? There is no Luo family in Bianbei City. Li Qingxi laughed wildly. As the head of the Li family, he has been overwhelmed by the Luo family all these years. For the Luo family, he can almost be said to hate it to the bone. Now that the Luo family is over, he is naturally in a very happy mood. You're talking nonsense. The Luo family man shouted sharply. Nonsense? Are you blind, kid? Didn't you see that the 3 adults of Yukongjing went to destroy the Luo family? Do you think that the strength of your Luo family can stop the 3 of Yukongjing? After Li Qingxi finished speaking, the Li family behind him also laughed. Indeed, in a small place like Bianbei City, a person with a strong air defense realm is like a god. The 3 sky-defending realm powerhouses attacked at the same time. They never thought that the Luo family would have any possibility of surviving. Patriarch, don't you know the Luo family? They are all a bunch of lumpy heads. It is almost impossible to make them submit. It is better to kill him directly, and then we will slowly find the key. A disciple of the Li family, open your mouth and say. Li Qingxi nodded and said, it makes sense. If that's the case, let's kill you first. As he spoke, he drew the knife in his hand and chopped off the Luo family's head. Die. Li Qingxi said with a smile on his face. However, before his knife touched his opponent, it was directly broken by a force of energy. Ha! Who? Li Qingxi frowned. he couldn't figure out who would dare to stop him in Bianbei City at this moment. Can stop him. Li Qingxi, you are impatient, right? On the other side, behind the crowd, came an indifferent voice, call. The people of Bianbei City, who were watching all around, scattered in all directions, behind everyone, Luo Feng, the patriarch of the Luo family, and a dozen or so elders were standing there with a gloomy expression. What's going on? Why did the Luo family come here? Didn't you say that the Luo family has already disappeared? That's right, I saw with my own eyes that those 3 killing gods went to Luo's house, but how could it be? Everyone looked at each other. Patriarch. The person in charge of the Luo's shop was delighted when he saw Luo Feng coming. Patriarch, I knew that you will be fine. He cried bitterly. Luo Feng glanced at him, nodded and said, you have worked hard, don't worry, I will seek justice for you. With that said, he walked towards Li Qingxi. Li Qingxi, you are courting death. Luo Feng said coldly. When Li Qingxi saw Luo Feng appear just now, he also panicked for a while. But in an instant, he calmed down. Humph, Luo Feng, why are you so arrogant? I don't know how you survived, but just a few of you want me to die. Are you out of your mind? Li Qingxi said coldly. He came here this time and brought almost all the elites of the Li family, but on Luo Feng's side, there were only a dozen or so people. No matter how you look at it, he has the upper hand here, Kang. Without saying a word, Luo Feng drew his sword and faced each other. Li Qingxi, die. Luo Feng shouted. For a moment, all eyes were on Li Qingxi. The corner of the latter's mouth twitched a few times, and said with a sneer, okay. Luo Feng, if you want to fight, I will give you a chance. Today I will kill you head-on, and then wipe your Luo family from Bianbei City. Call. As he said, he flew towards Luo Feng. Cold light swordsmanship, cut. Li Qingxi yelled violently. His sword energy was like a rainbow, and he came towards Luo Feng. However, boom. On the other side, Luo Feng also slashed with his sword. The sword energy collided with Li Qingxi, and instantly sent the latter flying. Puff. Before the person landed, there were more than a dozen wounds on Li Qingxi's body, and the blood was soaring. Boom. In the next moment, he fell to the ground, unable to struggle for a long time. This time, everyone was shocked. You know, Li Qingxi and Luo Feng have been fighting for decades, and the strength of the two has always been in the middle, and it is hard to tell the winner. The two decided to fight just now, and everyone thought that this would be a protracted battle, but who would have thought that Li Qingxi would be killed by Luo Feng's sword? 32 Sudden Attack. You are listening at novelfull.audio. Not only the others, but even Luo Feng himself was a little surprised at the moment. Although I already knew that the sword technique taught by Tianer is strong, but it is actually so strong, that he muttered to himself, yes, what he used just now was the first move in the Tiandao sword art taught by Luo Tian. Since Luo Tian left, Luo Feng has been practicing, but unfortunately, until now, he has only scratched the surface of this sword. The distance from Dashang is even more distant, but even so, he was able to kill an opponent who was originally on par with him in one move. The power of this heavenly Dao swordsmanship can be seen. Patriarch, the guy from the Li family is still there. What should we do? At this time, the second elder gave a reminder behind Luo Feng. Luo Feng came back to his senses in an instant, and ordered to the other Luo family members around him, kill. The Li family had already killed the Luo family before. The Luo family, naturally it is impossible to just stop like this. Yes. All of a sudden, everyone in the Luo family rushed over. All that was left was the sound of howling. However, after dozens of breaths of time, all the Li family members present were beheaded and none of them escaped. Looking at the bloody battlefield, everyone in Bianbei City knew it well. Bianbei City, the sky has changed. The Luo family not only survived the crisis, more importantly, the strength of the Luo family has increased a lot. When these people faced the Li family, they were almost all in one move, fighting more with less. The result turned out to be a complete crush. It's hard to imagine that not long ago, these two families were still two forces that were evenly matched. On that day, in Bianbei City, news about the Luo family continued to spread. On the other side, thousands of miles away, Luo Tian was flying in the air on a dragon horse. Well, as expected, it's more convenient to have a mount. Luo Tian looked down at the rapidly retreating ground, feeling very comfortable. At this speed, he should be able to return to Luo's house before dark, but just when, roar. A terrifying air wave blasted from the ground like a cannonball. Okay, by the time Luo Tian found out, it was already too late, boom. The air wave struck Luo Tian and Long Ma, puff. The dragon horse was directly pierced by the air wave, dripping with blood. Hey! Luo Tian just wanted to stretch out his hand to pull it, but he fell from the sky directly with the dragon horse, boom. After a while, one person and one horse fell to the ground, smashing a big hole in the ground. Damn things! In the big pit, Luo Tian struggled to climb out. He was not injured, but his whole body was stained with Ryoma's blood and dust on the ground, and he looked very embarrassed. When I looked down again, I found that Ryoma was dead and couldn't die anymore. Who dares to sneak attack me? Luo Tian's eyes were filled with anger. With a flash of his eyes, he saw a brilliance flickering in a valley. That direction was the direction from which the air wave came. Is it there? Luo Tian said, pointing his toes, his body flickering, and flew in that direction. On the other side, in the valley, a giant bird with hundreds of chains wrapped around its body, and a huge cauldron pressed on its back, which made him unable to move. Around the giant bird, dozens of grey-clothed men murmured incessantly, as if they were reciting scriptures, and the locked giant bird kept struggling, as if it was in great pain. As expected of a quasi-divine beast at the 5th level of the Tongxian realm, 3 days and 3 nights have passed, and it still hasn't surrendered. Just now, if I hadn't dodged quickly, I would have let him spit to death. A man in armor, a man with a look of lingering fear. He, General Wu, if it's not a beast of this level, what qualifications do you have to be the mount of Lord Xuanhuan King? A white-haired old man said with a smile while holding a chain in one hand. General Wu glanced at the giant bird, frowned and said, "Can this thing really be tamed?" That the old man smiled and nodded and said, "That's natural, General Wu, don't worry. My 100 beasts sex extermination of spirits is a top-notch method for taming animals. Sunset today at the latest, this guy will become a walking dead who can only obey orders." General Wu nodded and said, "It turns out that's the case, then please trouble sect leader Bai." Sect leader Bai smiled and said, "It's an honor for my 100 beasts sect to serve King Xuanhuan." On the other side, before the valley. "It's here, I want to see who attacked me." Luo Tian's eyes were full of murderous intent, and he was about to walk inside, but right now. "Stop!" A voice suddenly sounded. Immediately after, 4 figures stood in front of Luo Tian. "This valley has been sealed, idlers and others, hurry up and go," said the leading young man in white. "Get out of the way." Luo Tian didn't even bother to talk to him. "Huh? What did you say?" There was a chill in the young man's eyes. "Boy, our 100 Beasts sect and Xuanhuan Palace are working inside. How dare you speak rudely to me?" Very good. You don't have to go. It just so happens that after the monster is tamed, it needs to be fed, so you can stay and be a monster. Beast food." As he spoke, he stretched out his hand and grabbed Luo Tian, intending to subdue Luo Tian, but, boom. His hand was pinched by Luo Tian. "You dare to fight back? Kid, let me go, or the 100 Beasts Gate and Xuanhuan Palace will kill your whole family." The young man in white sternly shouted. Luo Tian turned his head and looked at him coldly. "It's this time, how dare you say that?" Luo Tianhan asked in a low voice. "Humph. Why don't you dare? I'm working for the Xuanhuan Palace, and you still dare to kill me? Junior brothers, do it." He turned his head and shouted, "Kang, Kang." The remaining 3 people all drew their swords and pointed at Luo Tian. "Boy, put down my senior brother quickly. Otherwise, you won't be able to bear the consequences." One person said coldly. "Consequences?" Luo Tian glanced at him, exerting force in his hands, puff. A cloud of blood dispersed, and the man in Luo Tian's hands was directly crushed to death by him. "What? How dare you? Good boy, you are courting death. Anger appeared in the eyes of the three of them, but the next moment, call. Luo Tian's figure disappeared in front of the three of them. When it reappeared, it was already behind the three of them. Huh? This kid, are you scared? A disciple was a little puzzled. I don't know, but he can't be allowed to enter the valley. If we delay things, we will be punished. That's right, boy, come back to me. The three of them chased after Luo Tian, however, they just turned around, puff puff. Blood sprayed wildly on the three of them at the same time. You guy. When? The three people's eyes were full of disbelief, and they didn't know when Luo Tian hit them. On the other side, anger rose in Luo Tian's eyes. In his right hand, he was holding a piece of withered grass. On the withered grass, drops of blood were hanging, dripping continuously. Chapter 33 King Jinpeng. You are listening at novelfull.audio. A dead grass kills everyone. Luo Tian looked at the place deep in the valley, where the spiritual light was shining, and the anger in his eyes remained undiminished. It's there. As he said that, he swept in that direction, on the other side, deep in the valley. King Jinpeng, why resist any more? It is your destiny to become the slave of King Xuanhuan. Sect leader Bai said with a smile as he looked at the trapped giant bird with his hands behind his back. You despicable person, go to hell. King Jinpeng, the giant bird, opened his mouth, ready to attack Sect Master Bai, however, The giant cauldron in the air flashed, and King Jinpeng was instantly lowered by 3 feet. The whole bird's head was stuck in the ground. Humph, I was careless just now. Do you think I will give you a second chance to attack? Headmaster Bai looked proud. Only King Jinpeng, whose originally golden eyes had turned blood red, looked at him fiercely. At this time, is this the bird that just squirted into the air? Behind sect leader Bai, Luo Tian's voice came. Okay. Sect leader Bai and General Wu were taken aback at the same time, then suddenly turned around. He saw Luo Tian, who was holding a piece of dead grass in his hand, looking at King Jinpeng. Why did other people get in here? Are the guards outside all useless? Sect leader Bai frowned, with murderous intent flashing in his eyes. General Wu said, Master Bai, relax a little bit. He is just a kid in the body training state, so what if he lets it in? He could tell at a glance that Luo Tian hadn't gathered qi to form a C yet, but was only in the state of body training. Therefore, I didn't take it to heart. Head Bai's expression turned pale. He nodded and said, what General Wu said makes sense. On the other side, Luo Tian lowered his head, looked at the two of them and said, hey, was this guy just spraying into the air? General Wu smiled and said, that's right, exactly. What's wrong? Luo Tian said with a dark face, what's the matter? He sprayed my dragon horse to death. What do you say? Are you his master? Head Bai and General Wu looked at each other and laughed dumbfoundedly at the same time. I think what's going on, it turns out that King Jinpeng didn't attack us just now, but sprayed this kid. What an unlucky ghost. The two shook their heads and laughed. Luo Tian said coldly, why are you laughing? Let me ask you, does this guy belong to you? The two looked at each other again, and the General Wu said, so what if it is? So what if it's not? Now that King Jinpeng is suppressed, General Wu is in a good mood, so he wants to deliberately play Luo Tian. Otherwise, with his and Master Bai's personalities, Luo Tian would have been killed long ago. Luo Tianhan said in a loud voice, if it belongs to you, you have to pay for my dragon horse. If it's not yours, just get out of the way. I'll settle the score with that guy. Sect leader Bai squinted his eyes and said, oh. Really, this guy is not ours yet. If you want to settle accounts with him, please do it yourself. Luo Tian nodded and said, okay, that cauldron is in the way, remove it for me, otherwise don't blame me if it breaks. Headmaster Bai looked up to the sky and laughed loudly, this. If you have the ability, you can go and get it yourself. If it breaks, I will never blame you. Head Bai only thought it was funny. The cauldron is a 5th-order magic weapon, and its power is astonishing. The reason why they were able to restrain King Jinpeng was because of this thing. The coercion emanating from this cauldron made even the two heads of Bai feel terrified. Luo Tian, who is in the body refining state, let alone break it. Even if you touch it, you will be shocked to death. Well, you said it yourself. Luo Tian said, walking towards King Jinpeng. He, Master Bai, you are bad enough. General Wu said with a smile to Master Bai. Sect leader Bai stroked his beard and said, I've been here for so long, it's quite boring. Isn't it interesting to have this kid who is overconfident, perform a suicide for us? General Wu also nodded and said, well, it's really interesting. This kid is really stupid. Amidst the teasing of the two, Luo Tian came in front of King Jinpeng. Human boy. Most of King Jinpeng's head was crushed into the soil, only one eye was left, and Luo Tian could still be seen. Luo Tian didn't look at him at all, but stepped on his body and walked towards the giant cauldron. You bastard! King Jinpeng's eyes became even more angry, but the power of the giant cauldron was too strong, so he couldn't even move. Next, there will be a good show. Headmaster Bai looked at Luo Tian and said with a smile, in his opinion, as long as Luo Tian and Zhu Ding touch for a moment, he will be shaken into a puddle of flesh by the power of Zhu Ding. However, boom. Luo Tian held the leg of the giant cauldron with one hand, and threw it back violently, whoosh, boom. The giant cauldron was thrown away by him, and it smashed heavily into the cliff behind him. It was directly embedded in the cliff to an unknown depth, and even the shadow was invisible. What? This scene shocked everyone. A giant cauldron capable of suppressing quasi-divine beasts in the Tongxian realm was thrown away like garbage. I haven't woken up yet. Headmaster Bai murmured. Oops, King Jinpeng. General Wu was the first to react, boom. At this moment, under the valley, a terrifying coercion rose up, click, click, the chains that locked King Jinpeng broke instantly. 100 Beasts Gate, people from the Xuanhuan Palace, please die for me. King Jinpeng spread his wings and flew up from the ground. Oops, this guy. Head Bai and General Wu were both dumbfounded. King Jinpeng's strength is extremely terrifying. The reason why they were able to suppress King Jinpeng before was because of the use of conspiracy and tricks, coupled with the help of a powerful magic weapon like the giant cauldron. But now, the giant tripod has been thrown away. Who can suppress this monster? Die! King Jinpeng swayed his wings, and the strong wind stirred. In just a split second, all the disciples of the 100 beasts who were chanting the Mealing Sutra were wiped out. In the next moment, King Jinpeng's figure flashed, and he came towards the two heads of Bai. Damn it, die to me! General Wu roared angrily, and slapped him with his palm, call. The palm wind roared like a mountain toppled a sea, raising dust all over the sky, but in the next moment, King Jinpeng's giant claws shattered the palm of his hand, and came directly in front of General Wu, puff. In the next moment, King Jinpeng retracted his claws, directly crushing General Wu into several pieces, and died on the spot. Whoosh! On the other side, sect leader Bai saw that the situation was not good, so he turned around and fled. He knew that this time, they were completely defeated. However, until now, he still couldn't understand why he lost. Why did Luo Tian throw away the giant cauldron so easily? However, all of this has nothing to do with him. Roar! King Jinpeng roared angrily behind him. The roar turned into a white beam of light, bombarding towards him. Laugh! Sect leader Bai was shattered into slag amidst the roar. Chapter 34 3-Stroke Appointment. You are listening at novelfull.audio. A bunch of despicable people. King Jinpeng obviously still didn't let go of his hatred, and he bombarded General Wu's body again. After a long time, it stopped. After doing all this, he turned his head to look at Luo Tian. Boy, although I don't know who you are, thank you for saving me. King Jinpeng said to Luo Tian. However, Luo Tian looked indifferent. No need to thank you, you are venting your anger now, but I haven't vented my anger yet. Luo Tian said coldly. Huh? What do you mean? King Jinpeng was taken aback. Luo Tian looked at King Jinpeng and said, just now, before I came in, did you roar at the sky? King Jinpeng thought for a while and said, it seems to be the case. What's the matter? Luo Tian said coldly, what's wrong? Your roar killed my mount and knocked me down from the sky. What do you think is wrong? King Jinpeng was also taken aback when he heard the sound. He hesitated for a moment, and said, "This. I was attacking those two guys before, killing your mount, and it was just an accidental injury." Luo Tian stared, and said, "I don't care if you accidentally injured yourself." King Jinpeng felt that he was wronged, so he lowered his head and said, "Then what do you say?" Luo Tian glanced at him and said, "It's very simple, you killed my mount, you have to pay for my mount." King Jinpeng smiled and said, "That's easy. In Yefeng country, I am the king of birds, and I will pick you a good flying mount. You leave the address, and after 7 days, there will be monsters to come and recognize you." Host. Unexpectedly, Luo Tian shook his head and said, "No, I can't wait that long." "Huh? Then you mean?" Luo Tian glanced at this guy, and said, "It's you killed my mount, then you will be my mount before you reach Yekong realm." A cold light flashed in King Jinpeng's eyes. "Humph. Kid, are you right? Let me be your mount. Previously, the strong man of your race, King Xuanhuan, wanted me to be his mount, but he couldn't even do it, so it's up to you." Luo Tian rolled his eyes and said, "Xuanhuan King, what kind of trash? I'll take care of him." King Jinpeng was stunned for a moment. He didn't expect Luo Tian to even ignore King Xuanhuan. If it was someone else, King Jinpeng might have just offered him as a mount just now, but Luo Tian can also be regarded as his savior, so it seems inappropriate to act like this. After thinking for a while, King Jinpeng suddenly had an idea. "Boy, it's not impossible to want me to be your mount. It's just that I made an oath back then that anyone who wants to be my master must bear me with 3 attacks. Otherwise, I would rather die than surrender." King Jinpeng said. His idea was very simple. He wanted to use this method to make Luo Tian retreat. After all, the attack power he showed just now is very powerful, but who knows? 3 attacks. Yes, come on. Luo Tian agreed directly. This time, King Jinpeng was confused. "Hey, boy, did you hear clearly? I hit you, not you," King Jinpeng said. "I heard it clearly. Hurry up and hit me, and follow me on the road after the fight." Luo Tian became a little impatient. King Jinpeng fell silent. He didn't expect Luo Tian to be so ignorant. "Forget it, teach this guy a little lesson. As long as it doesn't hurt his life, I'll find a way to repay him in the future." Thinking of this, King Jinpeng said, "Okay, I will only use 1/10 of the power for the next blow, and I will attack the position of your left arm. If you feel something is wrong, dodge it immediately, and you will be able to attack." Dodged a catastrophe. Luo Tian didn't take it lightly and said, "No need, you can just use your full strength. Do your best." King Jinpeng laughed in his heart. "Okay, get ready." As he spoke, King Jinpeng took a deep breath, and then let out a sharp breath. Boom. A beam of light shot out from his mouth in an instant, attacking Luo Tian's left arm. "Boy, you know how powerful you are." King Jinpeng thought to himself, but who knows, Luo Tian on the other side just slightly raised his hand and grabbed the beam of light. "Oops, his hand is useless," King Jinpeng said in surprise, but the next moment, the golden light fell on Luo Tian's palm. Not only did not smash Luo Tian's palm, instead, the beam of light began to shatter inch by inch. In just an instant, it was completely annihilated in Luo Tian's palm. On Luo Tian's palm, except for a little stain, there was no scar left. "This is 1/10 of your strength? Are you so weak?" Luo Tian glanced at his palm, then at King Jinpeng. The disappointment in his eyes was beyond words. King Jinpeng's face turned green. "What's the situation? Although I didn't use all my strength, it shouldn't be this effect. Especially when he blew so loudly just now," but in the end he just stained the opponent's palm. Looking at Luo Tian's expression again, King Jinpeng felt that his face was burning hot. "Humph, it seems that I underestimated you. So I thought that you were a genius who was proficient in magic weapons and saw through how to use the giant cauldron, so you could easily move the giant cauldron away. Unexpectedly, your strength is so powerful. You are so strong, but still pretending to be a body refinement level person. You are hiding deep enough." King Jinpeng said with his eyes fixed. Stop talking nonsense, let's start the second strike. Luo Tian said. Humph, good. I'm ugly to say the least, although you are my savior, but this time I won't miss it. I will use, % of my power to bombard you. If you don't want to die, you'd better dodge it. King Jinpeng said. Let the horse come here. Luo Tian said. King Jinpeng narrowed his eyes slightly. He knew that Luo Tian in front of him was quite powerful. If you want to win, you can no longer show mercy. Spiritual breath, Jinpeng roars. King Jinpeng let out another roar. In an instant, a beam of light that was several times stronger than before, entwined with lightning, bombarded Luo Tian. This blow was even more terrifying than the one that killed Sect Master Bai before. Boom. The beam of light hit Luo Tian head-on, and a mushroom cloud immediately rose in the canyon. Oops, too much force, isn't this kid in danger? King Jinpeng looked at his attack and couldn't help feeling a little worried. It would be outrageous to say that he really killed his savior, however. Cough, 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 it choked me to death. Among the smoke and dust, Luo Tian coughed. Immediately afterwards, Luo Tian ran out from the smoke and dust. My good fellow, is this move of yours choking people with dust? It's really a sinister move. Luo Tian looked at King Jinpeng with a resentful expression on his face. King Jinpeng was speechless for a while. His famous stunt failed to injure his opponent, but the dust he stirred up choked Luo Tian. If this is spread, I'm afraid my reputation will be ruined for half my life. Hey, there is one last move, hurry up. Luo Tian urged on the other side. Chapter 35 The Return. You are listening at novelfull.audio. This. On King Jinpeng's head, he couldn't help but began to sweat. He was serious about that blow just now, but Luo Tian almost ignored it. This guy's strength is even more terrifying than he thought. Could it be that, do you really want to be the opponent's mount? When King Jinpeng thought of this verse, a sense of resistance naturally arose in his heart. After all, he is also a monster in the Tongxian realm, and he was dubbed the Monster King, if it is used as a mount by a human being. Thinking of that scene, King Jinpeng's heart instantly became firm. Boy, let me make it clear in advance that my next blow will be unprecedentedly powerful. Even the king of divine martial arts of your human race can't hold it back. Moreover, once I make a move, I can't take it back. Are you sure you want it? Are you going to take it hard? King Jinpeng said seriously. Luo Tian said impatiently, stop talking nonsense, just make a move. A flash of determination flashed in King Jinpeng's eyes, and he thought to himself, forget it, I've run out of good words. If you die, I can only blame you for your bad luck. As he spoke, he waved his wings and flew into the sky. If you can still handle this move, then it's not a bad idea for me to be your mount. Divine breath, Tianwei. Boom. In the next moment, King Jinpeng spoke again, emitting a terrifying beam of light, different from the previous beam of light. This time the beam of light is blood red, and its power is even more terrifying. As soon as it appeared, it affected the sky. The sky was clear one moment, and the next moment it was cloudy. It was as if a thunder had landed, blasting towards Luo Tian. Luo Tian raised his head, looked at the blow, and frowned slightly. Just now, so much dust was created. If it hits the ground again, the dust will choke me to death. No, I can't let it fall to the ground. I will take the initiative. Having made up his mind, Luo Tian tied up the rag. Heavenly Dao Fist, Dragon Form Fist, 4th Style. Roar. In the next moment, as Luo Tian punched, the strength of the fist in his hand condensed into a dragon shadow, which smashed towards King Jinpeng's beam of light. Rumble. The two forces converged in the air, and after a brief stalemate, the dragon-shaped fist directly shattered the beam of light. Then, it skyrocketed and rushed towards King Jinpeng. What? Seeing this, King Jinpeng in the air suddenly changed his face. With a blow with all his strength, he was actually defeated by the opponent in a head-on confrontation. Seeing the strength of the dragon-shaped fist attack, King Jinpeng didn't dare to neglect, and immediately dodged to avoid it. Call. The dragon-shaped fist rubbed King Jinpeng's head and flew into the sky. Although it didn't hit him, the terrifying coercion almost stunned him directly. Boom. The strength of the fist went to the sky, directly shaking the dark clouds in the sky. Another sunny day. Seeing this scene, King Jinpeng was dumbfounded. Are you kidding? The power of this punch. Could it be that he is in the ruins realm? King Jinpeng knew that if he was hit by this punch, it would be miserable even if he didn't die, just one punch. For a moment, he turned his head to look at Luo Tian, his eyes full of awe. Okay, the 3 moves have passed, what do you say now? Luo Tian looked at him and asked. The corners of King Jinpeng's eyes twitched a few times, and finally he looked up to the sky and said with a smile, forget it. Forget it. It's not a loss to give up the bet and serve as a mount for a strong man in the ruins realm. As he said that, he directly landed in front of Luo Tian, bowed his head and said, Your Majesty King Jinpeng, I would like to be the master's mount. I don't know what the master's name is. Beibei City, Luo Tian. Luo Tian reported his family name. Luo Tian. I remember. King Jinpeng nodded. Okay, I'm in a hurry now, take me back to Beibei City. Luo Tian stepped onto King Jinpeng's back and said. Luo Tian felt that it was not a loss for a dragon horse to die, but to get a monster of the profound realm as a mount. Jinpeng spread its wings, soared upwards, and soared into the sky. Its speed is indeed not comparable to that of dragons and horses. Master, can I ask you what state you are in now? King Jinpeng asked Luo Tiandao during the flight. Me? Didn't you already see it? Body training. Luo Tian said while lying on his back. Ah. Body training? Are you joking? King Jinpeng was stunned. He always thought that Luo Tian's cultivation was far superior to his, that's why he could hide his cultivation. According to what Luo Tian said, it seems. Am I in the mood to joke with you? Why do you think I'm looking for a mount? Isn't it because my level is too low, only in the body training level, and I can't fly? Otherwise, I will be hit by your attack in the sky. Luo Tian Tutsao rode. Indeed, now he is the only one in the body refining state, who possesses the heavenly Dao body technique, which is more than enough for fighting, but if you are in a hurry, it will be too troublesome. Not only does it require constant use of aura for teleportation, more importantly, it is also prone to traffic accidents. Last time, he killed a big monster. Wouldn't it be hard to tell what happened next time he bumped and killed an innocent old lady? However, after hearing this information, King Jinpeng became even more shocked. Are you kidding me? Body training, such a terrifying strength? He turned his head to look at Luo Tian, and the shock in his heart couldn't be more shocking. Master, are you imitating the ancient powerhouse and specializing in body cultivation? King Jinpeng asked again. Luo Tian was surprised and said, specialize in body cultivation. No, I should be able to gather energy next month. Get together next month. King Jinpeng keenly captured this information, not specializing in physical training, but possessing such a powerful strength. What if we waited until the Qi gathering realm? Shouldn't it be stronger? Evildoer. Absolutely evildoer. If we say that before that, King Jinpeng still hesitated to become Luo Tian's mount, now, he can be said to be completely convinced. Being the mount of a monster of this level is not only a burden, but also an opportunity. While the two were talking, Bian Beicheng had already appeared in sight. King Jinpeng's huge body was discovered by the guards of Bianbei City before he got close. My God, monster! It's a monster! What? Such a huge monster, this terrifying aura, is definitely above the imperial sky realm. What's going on in Bianbei City today? First, the 3 Yukong realms came to make trouble, and then the Luo family slaughtered all directions. Why is there another monster coming now? Could it be that Bianbei City is going to be wiped out today? I don't want to die yet. For a moment, the entire Bianbei City was in panic. Wait a minute, look. There seems to be someone on the monster beast. Someone? Could it be that this monster is a human mount? The aura of the mount is so terrifying. How strong are the people on it? The direction the monster went, seems to be the Luo family. The Luo family, is it the Luo family again? What's going on with this Luo family? Everyone speculated, but no one knew exactly what happened. On the other side, King Jinpeng just approached Luo's house, and suddenly shivered slightly. Huh. This breath. Chapter 36. You are listening at novelfull.audio. At the same time, somewhere in the Luo family, Niu Wufang also suddenly opened his eyes. This breath. Call. He rushed into the courtyard in an instant and looked up. I saw a giant golden bird that covered the sky and the sun, hovering in the sky. King Jinpeng. Niu Wufang. After seeing each other, these two great demons had a shudder in their eyes at the same time. King Jinpeng, is this guy going to attack the Luo family? This tricky guy, I'm seriously injured now, maybe I can't stop him. Niu Wufang stared at King Jinpeng, clenched the mace in his hand. Niu Wufang is a 5-color divine bull, and the bloodline of the divine beast is stronger than mine. It seems that there is going to be a big battle. King Jinpeng is also facing an enemy. At this moment, Luo Tian, who was on King Jinpeng's back, suddenly poked his head out. Put away your murderous aura, your own. Luo Tian said. Uncle. Niu Wufang looked happy when he saw Luo Tian. When Luo Tian heard this address, he also looked helpless. Instead, King Jinpeng looked at Niu Wufang and Luo Tian in shock, looking incomprehensible. Uncle, what is this called? Under Luo Tian's instruction, King Jinpeng put Luo Tian in the courtyard, and he himself transformed into a human body with the head of a bird and wings on his back from the original giant bird. However, after transforming, he is still more than 2 feet tall, comparable to Niu Wufang. You guys wait here, I'll go see my father. Luo Tian ordered and left immediately. In the yard, only Niu Wufang and King Jinpeng were left. Hey, King Jinpeng, why are you with my uncle? Niu Wufang looked at King Jinpeng suspiciously. The latter raised his head and said lightly, I have decided to follow the master. Master? You must not have become my uncle's mount, right? How is it possible? You don't like restraint the most, don't you? Niu Wufang looked at King Jinpeng in shock. As a monster, he and King Jinpeng have known each other for many years, naturally know each other's temper. You must know that this guy is a character who would rather die than surrender. King Jinpeng glanced at him and said, this matter is a long story. But you, why do you call the master uncle? Niu Wufang laughed dryly and said, my mother let me do it. Your mother? King Jinpeng was stunned for a moment, and then he was shocked. Your mother came out of the seal. The seal is so strong, how could it be? Many years ago, King Jinpeng was invited by Niu Wufang to go to Tiandang Mountain to break the seal together, but under one blow, King Jinpeng was almost shocked to death by the sword intent on the ancient sword. He knew the horror of that seal, but after a while, King Jinpeng came to his senses and said in shock, could it be, the master? Niu Wufang proudly said, exactly. My uncle pulled out the ancient sword easily and rescued my mother. Then my mother recognized him as her elder brother, and he also became my uncle. King Jinpeng rolled his eyes and looked at Niu Wufang and said, your circle is really chaotic. By the way, your mother has been released. What state is she now? How does she evaluate the master? King Jinpeng couldn't see through Luo Tian's cultivation, so he wanted to prove it through Niu Tai hammer. Niu Wufang picked his nose and said, I asked, my mother is still in the ruins realm, but her realm is not stable, she can only be regarded as the first stage of the ruins realm. She said that she is not my uncle's opponent now, but if you fully recover your strength, you should be able to beat my uncle. King Jinpeng's pupils trembled. At the first level of the ruins returning realm, they are not the master's opponent. He murmured. Well, this is just now. My mother said that if my uncle breaks through again, then even if she recovers to the peak, she will not be my uncle's opponent. This. King Jinpeng was shocked again. On the other side, in the hall, everyone in the Luo family gathered when they heard the news of Luo Tian's return. Tianer, did it go well this time? Luo Feng asked. Well, all the other materials have been taken care of. Only the innate spirit crystal is left. We need to wait until the Ziwei secret realm is opened in a few days before we can get it. However, I have already got the qualification to enter the Ziwei secret realm. Luo Tian said. Luo Feng was overjoyed, and said, okay. That's great, we've already bought the other materials. Just wait for the Ziwei secret realm to open, and you'll be able to break through the Qi gathering realm. Luo Tian, who was in the body refining state, was already so terrifying. If Luo Tian breaks through to Qi gathering, Luo Feng couldn't even imagine it. By the way, father, when I came, I saw gunpowder smoke everywhere in the city. What happened? Luo Tian asked. Luo Feng smiled and said, it's nothing, it's just that the big and small families in Bianbei City are trying to embezzle my Luo family's property, but we have wiped out all these short-sighted guys. Luo Tian was taken aback, and frowned. They dare to attack the Luo family. How is it possible? The strength of the Luo family is second to none in Bianbei City. In recent years, only the Li family can barely compete with the Luo family. Are these guys crazy? How dare you attack the Luo family? Because they think that my Luo family might be wiped out. As he said that, Luo Feng told the story of the 3 strong men from the sky defense realm invading the Luo family. Before he finished speaking, he saw Luo Tian on the other side, lowering his head slightly. His whole body was enveloped by a murderous aura condensed into substance. God. Seeing this scene, Luo Feng lost his mind for a moment. If he hadn't seen it with his own eyes, he wouldn't dare to recognize Luo Tian. Clan extermination. Who is the other party? What's the origin? Luo Tian's voice was icy cold. He didn't expect that because of Lan Xiuer's incident, the other party would really do such a thing as extermination. If it weren't for Niu Wufang, the Luo family might have really been wiped out. Thinking of this possibility, Luo Tian felt a wave of fear in his heart. Although he has long known the cruelty of this world, but now I realize that I was still too naive. Return to the young master. The investigation has been clear. The 3 people who took the shot, one is the killer Shifagui from Guisha Temple, who was invited by the Lan family. The other is Ding Chen, a sword repairer from the Yukong realm, invited by Jiangxuanzang. The last one is the guest minister of the Xuanhuan palace. Said the 3rd elder. At this moment, he also felt Luo Tian's abnormality, so when he spoke, he was very respectful. It is not an elder at all, the attitude towards the younger generation. Lan family, Guisha Palace, Jiangxuanzang and Xuanhuan Palace. Got it. You wait here, I'll go back as soon as I go. Luo Tian said, and came to the yard. Uncle. Niu Wufang wanted to say hello to Luo Tian, but in the middle of speaking, he was overwhelmed by Luo Tian's murderous aura, and did not dare to move. Niu Wufang, guard the Luo family. No matter who dares to come to Luo's house to cause trouble, just kill them directly, don't have any scruples. Luo Tian said coldly. Chapter 37 The Cowardly Genius Girl. You are listening at novelfull.audio. Yes. Niu Wufang bowed his head and said. When his eyes strayed away from Luo Tian, Niu Wufang felt that his body was about to collapse. For a moment, he felt awe-inspiring. Just looking at Luo Tian actually gave him such a huge pressure, although he knew Luo Tian's strength before, but only now did he understand how powerful Luo Tian is. It turned out that when Luo Tian slapped him and broke his bones, it was just a joke. If he was serious, he could definitely kill himself. King Jinpeng, come with me. Luo Tian said. Yes. King Jinpeng also felt awe-inspiring. It was also the first time he saw Luo Tian in this state. He didn't dare to say much, and directly transformed into his body. Whoosh. Luo Tianfei boarded King Jinpeng and soared into the sky. Grandpa, what is uncle doing here? It wasn't until Luo Tian left that Niu Wufang asked with lingering fear. He, probably looking for trouble. Luo Feng murmured. On the other side, Yunshui City, the Lan family. Father, is there any news? Lan Xiuer was lying on the bed sickly, but her eyes were fierce. Lan Meng looked at his daughter, and said with a smile, Son, don't worry. This time, the 3 powerful members of the Royal Sky Realm will fight together, and the Luo family will definitely be destroyed. Lan Xiuer nodded and said nothing more. On the other side, the palace of the Lord of Yunshui City. Master Longmen, thank you for your help this time. you have strengthened the defense formation of my Yunxue city. Said Wu Wentian, the owner of Yunxue city, with a smile on his face. He was very excited at the moment, because in front of him was Long Yingqiu, the master of the Jue Gate, a super expert in the Tongxian realm. You know, this is the first time he has seen such a powerful expert. City Master Wu, you're welcome. The reason I'm helping is because of your third lady, Wu Yuro. Long Yingqiu said, turning to look at a young girl beside her, her eyes full of smiles. Wu City Lord, how can you, a person in the spiritual realm, give birth to such an excellent child? This child is only 17 years old, and he has already broken through the spiritual realm. It has not reached this level. Now, she is definitely the number one of my younger generation in Yefan country. Given time, she will definitely break through to the Tongxian realm. Even if she wins the Ruins realm, I won't be surprised. At that time, she will become I am now the real number one of Night Breeze country. That Wu Wentian glanced at his daughter, and his eyes were also full of pride, but he still said modestly, the master of the sect is over-reputed. The little girl's success depends on your good education. If you hadn't made an exception and accepted her as a close disciple, how could she have achieved such success? That after being flattered by Wu Wentian, Long Yingqiu suddenly felt joyful and burst out laughing, but right now, In front of everyone, the eyes of Yunxue City's protective formation lit up. This ray of light, there are experts at the Tongxian realm approaching. Long Yingqiu glanced at the formation and exclaimed. What? Tongxian realm? Wu Wentian's face changed slightly. Long Yingqiu glanced at him, and immediately smiled and said, City Master Wu, don't worry. The formation I just set up, even a strong person at the Tongxian realm, cannot be broken by brute force. What's more, I am here. Wu Wentian immediately cupped his hands and said, it all depends on the dragon sect master. Long Yingqiu nodded, and said, okay, everyone, follow me to the top of the city to see who is sacred. Yuro, you come with me, and meeting the strong will also hone your character. Yes. Wu Yuro whispered, a trace of nervousness could not be concealed in her eyes. Seeing this, Long Yingqiu shook his head slightly. As a close disciple, he is good everywhere, but his character is too soft and weak. This is also her biggest weakness. She must be given a good workout. Soon, a group of people came to the wall of Yunxue City. Not long after, a huge figure flew over the sky. After seeing that figure, Long Yingqiu frowned instantly. King Jinpeng. How could it be him? He muttered to himself. Master Longmen, this is. Wu Wentian didn't know who King Jinpeng was, so he asked. Long Yingqiu stared and said, King Jinpeng, a quasi-divine beast of the Tongxian realm, but this guy has always lived alone. Why did he take the initiative to come to the human city today? Quasi-divine beast? Wu Wentian gasped after hearing this. At this moment, King Jinpeng had arrived in front of Yunxue City. King Jinpeng, I haven't seen you for a long time. The master of the Jue Gate, Long Yingqiu, is being polite. Long Yingqiu shouted from a long distance away. King Jinpeng also noticed Long Yingqiu, took another look at the protective formation of Yunxue City, and said loudly, Master Longman, this formation was made by you? Please untie the formation and let me enter the city. Long Yingqiu glanced at him, and said with a wry smile, if King Jinpeng wanted to enter the city, I shouldn't have stopped him, but you have a murderous aura that hurts my face even if you are thousands of feet away. How dare I let you in? If you enter the city, I'm afraid the city will be devastated, right? After hearing this, King Jinpeng said coldly, Master Longman, you are mistaken, this murderous aura is not mine, but my master's. Owner. After hearing King Jinpeng's words, Long Yingqiu realized that Luo Tian was still sitting on King Jinpeng's back. At this moment, Luo Tian, with his eyes slightly closed, seemed to be recuperating, and the source of that terrifying murderous aura also came from him. Seeing this scene, Long Yingqiu's heart started beating wildly. King Jinpeng has a master. With this guy's character, how could he be willing to be someone else's mount? To be his master. Could it be that guy is in the Ruins realm? Thinking of this possibility, Long Yingqiu began to sweat on his forehead. He has the blessing of the formation, and he is confident that he can block most of the strong return to the ruins. Even King Jinpeng, the quasi-divine beast, has the confidence to fight, but if it is returning to the ruins. King Jinpeng, I would like to ask, what is the purpose of your master entering the city? Long Yingqiu asked. Before King Jinpeng could answer, Luo Tian suddenly opened his eyes. The moment he opened his eyes, 2 cold lights fell on the city wall, leaving 2 deep marks in an instant. Ah, Wu Yuro just met Luo Tian's eyes, and felt her legs go limp, and she fell to the ground. Unlock the formation. I'm here for the Lan family, I don't want to do more evil. Of course, if you want to stand up for the Lan family, I can kill you. Luo Tian said coldly. Long Yingqiu can become the master of a sect, so he is not a stupid person. What's more, he didn't even know who the Lan family was, so how could he stand up for them? Your Excellency, wait a moment, I will unlock the formation. Why provoke someone you can't afford? How could Long Yingqiu not have such eyesight to get into the position of sect master? Call. With the formation of Long Ying's vengeance, Hu Qing opened a corner of the formation. Thank you. King Jinpeng said, and flew directly into Yunshui's city. Looking at the direction where King Jinpeng was going, Wu Yintian's forehead bulged with veins. The Lan family? Are they out of their minds? How do you provoke such a person? Chapter 38. You are listening at novelfull.audio. Long Yingqiu sighed. These are not important anymore. This Lan family is destined to become history. A suspected strong man in the ruins realm made the move, let alone a small family in Yunshui's city. Even their Juyue Gate, a second-rate force in the Yefan country, will also be wiped out. Master. But at this moment, Wu Yuning suddenly spoke in a trembling voice. Huh? What's wrong? Long Yingqiu asked. Master, didn't you say that my talent is very good? But why was that boy just now, who looked about my age, so much stronger than me? After looking at Luo Tian, Wu Yuro felt that her Dao heart was about to collapse. Although she is extremely talented, her character is too soft and she always doubts herself, and just after that moment, she even began to question whether she was a waste. Long Yingqiu glanced at his apprentice, and immediately reprimanded him. You fool, do you think that guy just now is the same age as you? Wu Yuro was taken aback, and said, Isn't it? Long Yingqiu said unhappily, Who have you seen at this age, who has such a strong strength? That guy is just a good-looking guy. His age is probably much older than me. Wu Yuro was shocked and said, Really? Long Yingqiu snorted, Otherwise what do you think? A man in his early 20s is stronger than me? Do you think this is possible? Wu Yuro nodded and said, It seems to be the reason. Seeing her regain her self-confidence, Long Yingqiu continued, But no matter what his age, his strength is unquestionable. Girl, remember, when you walk in the rivers and lakes in the future, once you meet him, you must never lose it. It's a courtesy. Once this kind of old monster loses its temper, it's terrifying. Wu Yuro responded immediately, Yes, I would like to follow master's instruction. On the other side, the Lan family, boom. A loud noise resounded in the air, startling the entire Lan family. Huh? What's that? What a big bird. Monster, it's a monster. Why did you come here? Go and inform the patriarch. In fact, where is the notification? Lan Meng noticed something strange almost immediately, and rushed into the courtyard. However, when he saw King Jinpeng's huge figure, he was still dumbfounded. Senior, the master of the Lan family, Lan Meng, I don't know what you can do when you come to my Lan family. Whatever you ask, this junior will do my best to fulfill it. Lan Meng didn't know the purpose of King Jinpeng's visit, so he could only lower his posture as much as possible. Although he didn't know King Jinpeng's strength, he knew that if the other party wanted to kill him, it would be a matter of little effort. But at this moment, Lan Meng, you are so brave. Luo Tian's voice came from King Jinpeng's back. At this moment, Luo Tian looked down at Lan Meng, as if looking at an ant. Lan Meng heard the sound, raised his head and glanced at Luo Tian. His pupils trembled. Luo Tian. You're not dead. He said in shock, but felt that he had slipped his words, and immediately put on a smiley face and said, Nephew, what are you doing? Luo Tian's face was gloomy and cold, and he said, "Nephew, I am your ancestor. Lan Meng, your life was given to you by my Luo family, and you were the one who offered to marry my daughter to me back then. But you later repented and asked Lan Xiao'er to withdraw the engagement, and I agreed without hesitation. I asked myself that I had done my best, but what about your Lan family? First, your daughter, with the help of her master, wanted to destroy my Luo family. In the end, after being abolished by me, not only didn't I want to repent, but even worse, I even asked a killer to destroy my Luo family. Lan Meng, I have given you a chance, more than once, but why do you insist on courting death?" Listening to Luo Tian's questioning, Lan Meng felt guilty for a while. Yes, no matter what excuses he had, it was always his fault in this matter. Luo Tian, in the past, even if my Lan family is sorry for your Luo family, I hope you can calm down. My family, Xiao'er, is already with the son of Prince Xuanhuan. If you attack us, the palace of Prince Xuanhuan will also I won't let you go. How about this, let's take a step back, you leave here, and we won't let the Xuanhuan palace attack you, how about it? Lan Meng looked at Luo Tian, hoping to use the Xuanhuan palace to frighten Luo Tian, however. Prince Xuanhuan's mansion. What rubbish. Don't say it's a palace of Xuanhuan palace in Yefeng country. Today, even the heavenly court and the underworld mansion can't save your Lan family, as Luo Tian said, he made a move casually, Kang. A spear fell into his hand automatically. Lan family, destroy it, as Luo Tian spoke, the heavenly Dao marksmanship was activated, boom. In an instant, from the tip of his spear, like thousands of horses, blasted towards Lan's house. Luo Tian. Lan Meng roared, but before he could finish speaking, he was torn to pieces by his energy. Not only him, but the rest of the Lan family behind him were also directly crushed. For a moment, the house collapsed and the ground jumped down, just like the end of the world. In a vague way, Luo Tian saw Lan Xiao'er. She also had a panicked expression at the moment, but with all limbs severed, she couldn't even run away. She looked at Luo Tian viciously, and said sharply, "Luo Tian, even if I may. Ghost, I won't let you go." But in the next moment, she was torn apart by the spear intent. After a few breaths, the huge Lan family disappeared. You won't let me go even if you're a ghost. You're not as good as me when you're a human being, so what can you do if you're a ghost? Luo Tian threw away the spear with a wave of his hand. Seeing this scene, King Jinpeng was shocked. Sure enough. Master's strength is indeed in the ruins realm. He thought to himself. King Jinpeng, let's go. Luo Tian urged behind him. Ah. Yes, where are we going next? King Jinpeng asked. Sword Xuanzong. Luo Tian said with cold eyes. Yes, let's go. King Jinpeng spread his wings and disappeared into the sky. On the other side, the main peak of Jiangshuanzang. Sect Master, the ancestor has left the customs. A disciple of Jiangshuanzang said with joy. Oh. Leaving the customs so soon. Then the ancestor. Hui Nan, the lord of Jianxian sect, looked at him expectantly. Old ancestor, he succeeded. The disciple said happily. Successful? Hui Nan, who had always been calm, stood up abruptly after hearing these words. Ha! That's great. After the ancestor has completely mastered that magical weapon, his strength alone is enough to defeat 3 Tongxian realms. Coupled with our sword Xuanzong's formation, Jiangshuanzang officially set foot in the night sky today. The ranks of Fenghua's first-class forces. Huinan's eyes were full of excitement that could not be concealed. After all, the resources occupied by a second-rate sect and a first-rate sect are vastly different. He is confident that with the strength of his ancestor and his own resourcefulness, in time, he will definitely become the real strongest sect in Night Breeze Nation. But right now, boom! A loud noise interrupted his fantasy. Chapter 39. You are listening at novelfull.audio. Sect Master, something is wrong. An elder of Jiangshuanzang ran in with a panicked expression. What's going on? Huinan asked. King Jinpeng, it's King Jinpeng. That guy destroyed our mountain gate. Said the elder. Huinan was taken aback, and said in surprise, King Jinpeng? That monster? We have nothing to do with him, how could he destroy my mountain gate? That the elder shook his head and said, I don't know, but King Jinpeng is famous for being fierce, if he really goes crazy, it's probably not good. Huinan suddenly smiled coldly, and said, if it was the past, maybe it would be really troublesome. But now, our Jiangxuanzong is already different. That while speaking, he flew to a place with beautiful mountains and rivers in Xuanzong of Jianxian, and directly knelt down on one knee. Old ancestor, Jiangxuanzong is in trouble. Huinan invites old ancestor to come out of the mountain. Huinan shouted loudly, creak, the door of the thatched hut in the distance opened automatically, and an old man with white beard and hair came out slowly. Oh, it's true, the future generations will not live up to expectations, this kind of matter must be resolved by the old man. Said the old man, this person is none other than Gutong, the patriarch of the sword Xuanzong. Old ancestor, I don't want to disturb ancestor Qingxiu unless I have to, but now that the situation is urgent, I can only ask ancestor to take action. Huinan said, but Gutong said indifferently, the situation is urgent? Isn't it just a bird monster? It's worth your panic. Wait until I capture him and be my guardian beast. Say, walk away. Huinan was behind him, feeling a slander in her heart, the harpy. Mountain guardian beast. Just a year ago, Gutong warned him not to provoke the strong monsters, and to bear it as much as he could, but now, after getting the magic weapon, it was installed immediately. Of course, he only dared to say these words silently in his heart, and never dared to say them out loud. On the other side, Gutong flew up and came to the front of the mountain gate. At this moment, the mountain gate of Jiangxuanzong mountain gate is already in ruins. In midair, King Jinpeng carried Luo Tian looking down. Little Jinpeng, you are so brave, you dare to destroy this mountain gate? Gutong shouted loudly from a long distance away, his cry was injected with the power of the Tongxian realm, and the sound was like thunder for a while. Huh! That's, the ancestor of our Jiangxuanzong came out of the mountain. Old patriarch? Is that the Tongxian realm patriarch who has been living in seclusion in the back mountain? It's him. I was lucky enough to meet him once many years ago. There is absolutely nothing wrong with him. Then, can the ancestor stop this King Jinpeng? Humph, didn't you hear what the ancestor said? The ancestor called that guy Xiao Jinpeng. Either our ancestor is higher than him, or his strength is stronger than him. No matter what kind, it is the ancestor. Sharp, up and down Jiangxuanzong, people were still in panic, but now, Gutong immediately settled down again after saying Little Jinpeng. King Jinpeng listened, but his brows were furrowed. Little Jinpeng. Are you not familiar with this guy at all? Even though Gutong, the patriarch of Jiangxuanzong, is also at the Tongxian realm, but in the Tongxian realm of Yefeng country, the strength is only at the bottom. This guy is so arrogant. Are you the speaker of Jiangxuanzong? At this moment, Luo Tian, who was behind King Jinpeng, suddenly spoke. Huh? There are others? Gutong was taken aback, obviously not expecting it. That's right, I'm in charge of Jiangxuanzong's affairs. Who are you? Gutong asked. I, Luo Tian, the person who destroyed your Xuanzong of sword. Luo Tian said. Chapter 40 Tier 6 Magic Weapon. One Finger Flick. You are listening at novelfull.audio. Destroy my sword Xuanzong. Gutong was stunned for a moment, and then couldn't help laughing wildly. Even Huinan was smiling. Luo Tian. Luo Tian from Binbei City. You used despicable means to kill my junior brother Luo Tian. I thought you were a smart person, so I entrusted others to do it very cautiously. Only now do I know that you are just an idiot, that's all. Huinan kept shaking his head. It's a pity that I used Ding Chen as a pawn to test you. In the end, your whole card is only King Jinpeng. In this case, it seems that I was too cautious. Luo Tian ignored the two, but stood on King Jinpeng's back and said loudly, "Don't say I won't give you a chance. Within 30 breaths, if you swear to withdraw from the Xuanzong of sword and leave the sect, I will spare you from death, and the rest kill without mercy." That this sentence was exported, and there was another burst of laughter below. What? Swear to quit Jian Xuanzong? Who do you think you are? I have never seen such a brain-dead person, relying on King Jinpeng, dare to say such big words. Hee, King Jinpeng probably hates this pig teammate now, right? Silly, your King Jinpeng is no match for our ancestors at all. You better stop pretending. That everyone in Jiangxuanzong now has Gutong as their backer, so they speak more and more freely. No one took Luo Tian's words seriously, and Gutong also shook his head and smiled. King Jinpeng, I will also give you a chance to kill the kid on your back, and then become my sword Xuanzong mountain guardian beast. I will spare you. After saying a word, everyone in Jiangxuanzong laughed again. Big Bird, kneel down and kowtow quickly, the ancestor said to spare you. Little Jinpeng, if you don't surrender, we'll be eating roasted bird wings later. After being scolded by everyone, King Jinpeng's eyes were also filled with anger. Junior, court death. Divine breath, Jinpeng roar. King Jinpeng was so angry that he opened his mouth and blasted a beam of light downward. This terrifying breath cut through the space, causing the world to change color immediately. Seeing this, the ordinary disciples of Jiangxuanzong all changed their faces. Is this the strength of someone at the Tongxian realm? Most people are seeing it for the first time. Humph, little skill. Gutong snorted coldly, flew up, and slashed at King Jinpeng's breath, Kang. As the sword Qi whistled, it collided head-on with King Jinpeng's breath, rumble. The two forces collided together in the air, causing the world to tremble. Old ancestor, he blocked it. No, the strength of the ancestor seems to be inferior to that guy. Under everyone's gaze, Gutong's sword energy was gradually suppressed by King Jinpeng's breath. Is this the power of a quasi-divine beast? Obviously, I am in the same realm as him, but the power is so much stronger than mine. If it was the past, I might really lose today, but unfortunately, the me now is different from the past. Gutong thought, holding a sword in one hand, and using sword energy to contend with King Jinpeng. With the other hand, he took out something from his bosom. It was a copper seal with the word Fan Jiang printed on it. Hee, King Jinpeng, let me show you my true strength. Turn over Jiangyin, kill me. In the next moment, Fan Jiangyin came out of his hand and smashed against King Jinpeng's breath, boom. King Jinpeng, who had been steadily suppressing Gutong's breath, collapsed instantly after touching the Fanjiang seal. What? A flash of shock flashed in King Jinpeng's eyes. That Fan Jiangyin actually gave him a feeling of powerlessness. Since you don't want to submit to me, then go to hell. Gutong showed a stern expression after a blow, and continued to manipulate Fan Jiangyin to throw it at King Jinpeng. Hateful. King Jinpeng's expression changed suddenly, and he dodged away immediately. However, under Gutong's control, Fan Jiangyin turned around and chased King Jinpeng at an extremely fast speed. Seeing this scene, Huinan's eyes lit up. As expected of a sixth-order magic weapon, this power. Although it can't catch up with the real ruins returning realm, it's not far away. The ancestor has this object in his hand, and in the huge Night Breeze nation, there are probably not many people who belong to the ancestor opponent. Huinan flattered. Gutong curled his lips and said, without this magic weapon, how many people in Night Breeze nation are my opponents? Huinan felt another slander in her heart. He was suppressed by King Jinpeng just now when he had no magic weapon, so he forgot it so quickly. Of course, he still didn't say that. On the other side, the disciples of Jiangxuanzong continued to laugh after seeing Gutong gaining the upper hand. Little Jinpeng, aren't you arrogant? How come you're a lost dog now? What a bereaved dog is a bereaved bird. Huh, a silly bird. And that silly one above, didn't you just say you were going to kill us without mercy? Why are you shutting up now? That's right, the person who wants to destroy my Jian Xuanzong, keep barking. The crowd cursed again. On the other side, King Jinpeng also looked anxious when he saw that he was about to be caught up by Fan Jiangyin. Master, what should we do? he asked Luo Tiandao. Stop, Luo Tian said lightly. Huh? Stop. But. He glanced at Fan Jiangyin who was still chasing after him. It's okay, just stop. Luo Tian said lightly. King Jinpeng gritted his teeth, and he stopped in the air. Huh? Did you give up? That's fine, anyway, you will die in the end, so everything will be over. Gutong smiled, continued to urge Fan Jiangyin, and threw it at them, but at this moment, Luo Tian reached out his hand on King Jinpeng's back, and a huge golden palm condensed in front of him. It is the palm of heaven. On the other side, Fan Jiangyin was about to come in front of the two of them. Seeing Luo Tian's golden palm, he clasped his middle finger with his thumb suddenly, and walked in the direction of Fan Jiangyin. Huh? What is that guy doing? Concentrating palms with qi. It is indeed a good method, but unfortunately, in front of the ancestor, it is nothing. Several elders of Jiangxuanzong stroked their beards and said with a smile on their faces, from their point of view, Luo Tian's death was already a certainty. However, boom. Just as the Fanjiang seal was about to fall, Luo Tian flicked his golden palm, hitting the Fanjiang seal right in the middle, and the Fanjiang seal, which was so powerful that it was almost unstoppable, was flicked away by Luo Tian like a glass ball. Whoosh! In the next moment, Fan Jiangyin soared into the sky, then it flashed in the air like a star, then, he disappeared. Old ancestor. Seeing this, Hui Nan immediately turned to look at Gutong, but Gutong froze on the spot. Old ancestor, what's the matter? Where's Jiangyin? Hui Nan asked. Gutong swallowed a mouthful of saliva and said, I can't sense it anymore. Hui Nan asked in shock, why? The corner of Gutong's mouth twitched a few times, and said, one possibility is that Fan Jiangyin was flicked to a very far position by him. The second possibility is that Fan Jiangyin was flicked by him just now, and it was broken.